wouldn't it be nice to have several thought leaders in your industry know and love your brand? Start a podcast. Invite your industry's thought leaders to be guests on your show, and start reaping the benefits of having a network full of industry influencers. Learn more at sweetfishmedia.com.
You're listening to the B2B Growth Show, a podcast dedicated to helping B2B executives achieve explosive growth. Whether you're looking for techniques and strategies or tools and resources, you've come to the right place. I'm Jonathan Green.
And I'm James Carberry.
Let's get into the show.
Welcome back to the B2B Growth Show. This episode is sponsored by Directive Consulting, the B2B search marketing agency. We are here today with Casey Gauss. He is the co-founder and CEO of Viral Launch. Casey, how you doing today, man?
James, I'm amazing and honored to be here. Thanks so much for having me.
I am really excited to be chatting with you today, Casey. You guys have been growing like crazy. Can you tell us a little bit about Viral Launch and just a little bit of background on the growth that you guys have experienced lately?
Yeah, of course. So we're a software and services company designed specifically to help enable entrepreneurs on the Amazon platform. So we've worked with a little over 10,000 brands to date. These are brands ranging from, guys like you and I just trying to make some supplemental money sourcing products from China, all the way to some of the, most prestigious Fortune 100s. And our clients are doing over $4 billion a year on Amazon now.
Wow.
We've run over 35,000 product launches. And we're just really focused on building, the most successful brands on Amazon.
I love it. So Casey, as we were talking through kind of topic for this episode, the thing that surfaced to the top was keeping the customer at the center of all you do. This is a no-brainer. I think this is absolutely something that needs to be talked about more. You guys are clearly doing it and you're growing because of it. As we were leading up to kind of figuring out what the outline for this was going to be, you mentioned that in everything you guys do, at the core of what you do, there's this genuine care for people. Can you elaborate on that for us a bit before we get into your three keys to keeping the customer at the center of what you do?
Yeah, absolutely. So at the heart of it, my personality is such that I just genuinely care about people in deeply. So, I come kind of from a background where we definitely struggled. We had cars repossessed, we were evicted. And so we moved around a lot. And so I've kind of been in these unfortunate situations growing up and even still there's different situations that I find my family in, everywhere from being in jail and just crazy things. Right. And so I think that has really helped me to relate to people and understand that, we are all just looking and aspiring to be something. Maybe our decisions don't necessarily line up with that. Anyways, I really care about people. And so that has allowed us to build a company where everybody on the team also really cares about people. And so that has allowed us to just build this very customer centric, in this genuine company where everything that we're doing from our marketing content to the products that we're building are all focused on people, which are our customers.
I love it. And so you mentioned that one of the biggest things that you guys do is you build products that have not a marginal impact on your customer's life, but a dramatic impact on your customer's life. Talk to us a little bit more about that. What's that mean and how does that flesh itself out in the day-to-day of the running of the business?
Yeah. So our best case study to date, we helped take a brand new brand. They launched on Amazon. This is where they decided to launch a brand. Anyways, they launched in June of 2015. They did 36 million in 2016, more than 40 in 2017. And so our best case study, right? But anyways, we have all kinds of case studies where a brand comes to us within 30 days. We take them from, I think it was $400K a month to $650K a month in 30 days. Brands just getting started with us, they go from just a couple of guys looking to make some extra money. They go from nothing to $85K a month, which is, $1 million business in 90 days. So we really understand kind of what are the key levers to success on Amazon, and versus just building out tools that, could help people a little bit here, solve this problem there. We're looking at how can we really have a dramatic impact in these people's lives?
so you guys offer a service to come alongside companies, and then you also have technology that kind of augments that service. Is that how your business model works?
Yeah, great question. So we do everything from, we have some research tools. We're a very data-driven company. So we have some research tools that will help you identify like, what are the awesome opportunities on Amazon where I can make, a lot of money? How much money could I make? What does the competition look like? So we're helping people identify the opportunities. Then you have your products. We have product photographers in-house, and we have a studio in our office. We have people that write the Amazon listing, so we'll help you get your product up and listed on Amazon. Once it's up and listed, then we will help you drive ranking and drive sales for those products as well. So we're building out kind of this comprehensive platform. We're a bootstrap company, been around a little over 3 years, so we're still fleshing that out. But essentially, the thought is we can take you from A to Z kind of. In this space particularly, we feel you have to be an expert at everything to be an expert at anything, because there's such interplay between every department. And so, we're trying to be those experts, I guess.
I love it. So building things that have a dramatic impact, not just marginal impact, really has allowed you guys to grow without doing a lot of marketing. Can you talk to us about that?
Yeah. So we don't share revenue numbers. Again, we're a bootstrap company. We're a team of 46. And so hopefully to illustrate some of the growth, I guess. So we were 5 people in May of 2016. I think we've already hired 15 people this year or so. Wow. And, it's a lot of developers or, director level people. So good amounts of salary. I'm trying to give a sense of revenue. Here. Again, we're bootstrapped. $700 went into the business when we first launched. And we've been kind of growing profitably ever since. And so, I am not a marketing person. I'm a product person. And so we haven't really, up until just a couple months ago, we haven't really focused too much on marketing. It's all been product. And because of the dramatic results that people are having, they share it as how are they having success in Amazon? We're part of a lot of courses, or influencers are excited about our software and what it can do for their course members or whoever. And so we've been able to grow really well just because of the impact that we have here.
It's story time, and this growth story is about search engine marketing. Okay, so the story revolves around eSub, a project management SaaS company specifically for subcontractors. Even though eSub had incredible customer retention, they struggled with growth. Being a niche service, they discovered that there was little demand expressed for their solutions within search engines. To take on this challenge, eSub hired Directive Consulting, the B2B search marketing agency. After refining targeting, pre-qualifying clicks with an ad copy, and developing custom landing pages, Directive was able to increase eSub's marketing qualified leads by 71%, while decreasing their cost per lead by 65%. I have a hunch that Directive can get these kind of results for you too. So head over to directiveconsulting.com and request a totally free custom proposal. That's directiveconsulting.com. All right, let's get back to this interview. One other thing that you mentioned, Casey, beyond kind of just building products that make a dramatic impact, you said that you guys go to a lot of conferences and you hang out with customers at those conferences. Can you talk to us about that approach?
Yeah, so I'm definitely a hustler. Like I said, kind of come from nothing. I built Viral Launch actually with socks on my hands because my brother and I couldn't afford heat in our apartment. Wow. When we were first getting off the ground. So I'm definitely a hustler by nature. Anyways, so one area of this hustle that has allowed us to grow is, we go to tons and tons of conferences. Part of our team is at a conference right now, actually, and I leave tomorrow to go to another conference. And anyways, at these conferences versus, at this point, I'm a speaker. And so what some of the other speakers like to do is they just go hang out with the other speakers and I'm too fancy or too cool. My time is too valuable maybe to really go hang out with the attendees. And absolutely not. Again, I love talking to people. I love having kind of a pulse on the market. And I have value, I think, to bring to these guys. And so anyways, every night I'm out till 1 a.m., 2 a.m., sometimes even later, unfortunately. But just talking with these sellers and trying to help them understand maybe different nuances of the Amazon business to give them value. And so I've been doing this for the last, 3 years, where I just go to a ton of conferences, spend so much time talking with these customers. And it's not out of like, I'm not the type of guy, I'm not a sales guy. I'm not the type of guy that is like, oh, I want to have this conversation so I can get you to use Fire Launch. Like, I just enjoy talking about Amazon and helping these people understand. So all the conversations are intended to be beneficial to the customer. But anyways, over the last 3 years, just spent hours and hours at these conferences after the event, just hanging out with these sellers to hopefully help them, make better decisions in their Amazon business. And through that, they get to see that we're genuine people. We know what we're talking about, and we do care about people. And so that has helped our customer growth.
It makes perfect sense. I think it's one of those things that I don't think is the sexiest growth hack, but spending time with customers, potential customers, hearing about the problems they're having, and then using that data, that insight to be able to feed back into the products that you're putting into the market. I'm sure you can point back to probably hundreds of conversations that you've had over the years that have in some way, shape, or form impacted the products that you guys are putting out there that are allowing folks to excel and to grow their Amazon presence and the sales that they're generating on Amazon. The third thing that we're going to talk about, Casey, and this will be the last point, is building content without a specific tie to the business. You alluded to this in your last answer when you said, "Hey, I don't want to hang out with people after conferences just to talk about our tool. Like I could, if they use our tool, great. If they don't, great. But you genuinely want to help people, and that is crucial according to you in your content as well. I completely agree with it. Talk to us about your content strategy and why it's important to not have everything tied directly back to your product."
Yeah. So, I mean, to premise, we're still figuring out our content strategy. Again, we're just starting to get serious about marketing, but I mean, we do have a good amount of content on our site. And so unfortunately in our space, there's a good amount of people that are sharing very biased information. They will share information that, omits maybe important details just for the sake of, getting them onto their platform or onto their service or software or whatever. And so we want to take a very objective, data-driven approach to every scenario. So we have a podcast and we talk a lot about like dispelling the myths of, these guys are sharing this information and telling sellers this thing because they want them to use their software. It's like, well, in reality, this is kind of what the data is showing us. And so we spend a good amount of time actually busting myths, because one of the biggest points of failure or causes of failure in this business is just misinformation and people running their business maybe inefficiently or making bad decisions. And so even though these decisions have no impact on whether or not you're going to use Fire Launch's, services or software, we just want you to be able to make the right decision. So we do a lot of myth dispelling, which has worked great for us because people have been thinking maybe one way. And when we're able to provide this data, we're tracking over 100 million products daily on Amazon, and we're tracking tons of keywords. Like I said, our customers are doing billions of dollars in sales. So we have a lot of data that we're able to aggregate and pull, these great insights from to share with people. Also, there's been plenty of times where maybe there's a change in Amazon's terms of service, or something going on where people have a lot of questions, and maybe these questions will even, or maybe people will even question like, well, should we be using Fire Launch, or is Fire Launch still like one of our services, which is a launch service? At one point, Amazon made this big review change, and people were asking, well, should we still use Fire Launch throughout this process? And we were just very honest and upfront, whereas the majority of other companies were like, this is what Amazon's change in terms of service means. This is how you should move forward. But there's in reality, there was so much uncertainty, and everybody was just putting their stake in the ground, saying, this is how you need to operate moving forward, because that's what benefited their business. And we took a very honest approach saying, hey, this is all the data that we have. This is all the information that we have. Here is our interpretation of it. It is biased, obviously. But here's our interpretation, and we'll update this thread as we get more information. But we want you to make the most informed decision possible, not a misinformed decision so that it benefits me.
I love that. And that, again, Casey, I think all of this points back to your genuine care for people and your team's genuine care for people. And I think when that is your North Star, it makes sense that in situations like that, you're going to do the right thing for them because they're your priority. And so I love the ethos that you guys have built your culture around, because I think it's what we should all aspire to do. So if there's somebody listening to this, Casey, they want to stay connected with you, they want to learn more about Viral Launch, what's the best way for them to go about doing that?
So I'm kind of a hard person to get a hold of. Honestly, the best way to get a hold of me and to really see what's going on and connect with me is just following me on Instagram. I post on my stories a decent amount, and I try to get back to people as much as possible on Instagram. I'm not as good on Facebook or not very good on email. So I apologize. I'm trying to be very focused. And I have a lot of people that reach out. So
love it. I love it. So follow you on Instagram, and then where can they learn more about Viral Launch?
Yeah, it's viral-launch.com is our website. We have a blog with a good amount of content. We have a podcast where we do a lot of myth dispelling, but really it's called Follow the Data, and we just help people see the data on the Amazon side and make those informed decisions.
Love it. Awesome, Casey. Well, thank you so much for your time today. This has been fantastic. I really appreciate it, man.
Thanks so much, James. Again, honored to be here. Thanks for having me.
There are lots of ways to build a community, and we've chosen to build the B2B growth community through this podcast. But because of the way podcasts work, it's really hard to engage with our listeners. And without engagement, it's tough to build a great community. So here's what we've decided to do. We're organizing small dinners across the country with our listeners and guests. No sales pitches, no agenda, just great conversations with like-minded people. We'll talk business, we'll talk family, we'll talk goals and dreams. We'll build friendships. So if you'd like to be a part of a B2B growth dinner in a city near you, go to b2bgrowthdinners.com. That's b2bgrowthdinners.com. Thank you so much for listening. Until next time.